Hi everybody, it's Jamie. Here's another one of my videos for self-empowerment. This one is how to love yourself. Basically, when I discovered self-love, it changed my life. I used to look to other people to make me feel good about myself, and to be honest, even when someone would compliment me, it didn't make that much of a difference. I didn't really believe them. I thought someone would have an ulterior motive. Like, if someone says that I'm pretty, I'm like, well, why are they telling me that? They're just trying to be nice or something like that. And what changed for me was about a year ago. I had a friend who basically said to me, Jamie, you don't need a boyfriend. I don't understand why you think that you need someone to keep you company and make you feel better. Basically, like, you don't need a boyfriend. You have yourself. And those words have stuck with me. You have yourself. And it's like, wait, I do. I'm my number one supporter. I'm my biggest fan. Even times when I didn't like myself very much, I was still there for myself and I still was looking out for me more than anyone. And that is really, really important. So, one thing that I would like to share as far as a good way to look at it is okay, a lot of us beat ourselves up. And if we think about this inner child within an inner child within ourselves, yes, a child within us is an inner child. So think about your inner child. When you were little, you still thought in a very similar way, I bet. You still wanted a lot of the same things. You still felt good when people complimented you and felt bad when people said mean things to you. So you were still you, your essence. So think about that inner child, who you really are on the inside. And it's like if you take that out of yourself and there's just this child in front of you, child abuse is a bad thing. So if that child is sad because he or she messed up on a baseball game or um, couldn't get that painting just right or messed up cooking those eggs, well, you wouldn't bully the child and say, I can't believe you messed that up. You're so bad. You need to do better. This isn't good enough. No, the child may be crying and you would pat him or her on the back and say, it's great and you'll do better next time and you'll learn from your mistakes and I'm proud of you for trying and it's really not that bad. I've seen a lot worse and stuff like that to try to support and comfort that child. And we still need to do that for ourselves even as an adult because we still get down on ourselves and I have to tell you it feels really really nice to comfort myself. Like if I'm feeling bad about something, I still pat myself on the back and I give myself an emotional hug. And I just tell myself that I love myself and like basically I'll be like, Jamie, I love you. You did great and you did the best you can and you'll do better next time. You'll learn from this and it's really not that bad. I've seen worse. For instance, today I did makeup for the first time on a person other than myself. I went to a fitting for a fashion show and I thought I was shadowing, but no other stylist or makeup artist showed up. So thank God I brought my own kit. But it's really just my personal stuff. Like I didn't really have a kit ready because I'm still in school, but I did bring Q-tips and stuff for sanitation just in case, and that was great. So I worked on some human beings and it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good and I was really proud of myself. So it's pretty awesome. Um, so when someone is not being loving towards themselves, what it looks like is self-destructive behaviors. For instance, someone wants to numb the pain. So someone will do a bunch of drugs. Someone will drink themselves into a coma. Like, haven't you ever heard someone say, "Oh, I'm so hungover, I feel like crap, so I never want to drink again"? That's very self-destructive. Because the thing is, they do drink again, over and over again, and they don't learn from it. And that is not loving themselves. That is numbing the pain. That's running away from their problems. And so someone's feeling like they had a bad day and they want to drown their problems in alcohol. And that's there's so many other ways to love yourself. Like, if I feel bad one day, what will make me, like, that's what it is. Loving myself is trying to find a solution that's going to make me feel better. So if I'm feeling bad, I'm going to have a conversation with myself, and I'm going to ask basically for that inner child to speak up. And because when I was younger, a lot of the time I felt like what I had to say wasn't important, or what I had to say wasn't good enough. And I would basically shut myself up if someone else didn't do it for me. And I definitely struggled with self-confidence issues. And so now it's like, if I actually listen to myself and if I'm feeling bad, I'll basically ask, like, little Jamie, what's wrong? And then little Jamie will basically speak up. Like, I'll hear it in my mind, and I'll hear, like, and I pretty much sound like a child. It'll sound something like, well, I feel jealous because this person is having more success than me. Like, this person did really good in this thing, and I feel like I just am not there yet, and it doesn't feel good, and it's not fair. Like, how come they get to win the prize? And it's like, then the adult version of me will comfort that inner child and say, I understand where you're coming from. It's so important to validate. Like, you've got to validate your own feelings. So it's like, look, I totally understand where you're coming from. And yes, this person is doing wonderfully. And it's really hard to face that sometimes if you're not there yet. But I'm really proud of you for trying. And you will get there. And it's okay to not be an expert right away. But I love you. And that's the most important part, to always come back with, no matter what, I love you and I'm here for you and I'm always here to listen, and I'm validating how you're feeling, because a lot of us feel that way. Even adults, a lot of the time, will feel like they're not good enough. But we've got to forgive ourselves for not being good enough, because in a way we are good enough. I always hear this, you're exactly where you need to be. We're always growing, so I always strive to grow as much as I can. I'm always looking for ways to improve, but just because I'm improving doesn't mean that I'm not good enough. It's like, I'm good enough for where I am right now. And since I'm growing, I'm going to be better. It's inevitable. So I might as well love and support myself and be proud of myself for how far I've come, because of course I'll get better. And you will too. Reading my notes. Oh yeah, so nowadays I feel like what I find attractive in another person is when I'm seeing that he's taking care of himself, and that's important to him, because I've dated some people that smoke cigarettes, and that's not good. I've dated people that don't really care about eating healthy, and that's why they didn't last more than 2 weeks, because someone who's not taking care of himself is not a good influence for me. And basically I'm just not interested in that, because I can't relate. It's like, I feel like he's not loving himself. He's like, he just doesn't care. And it's like, sometimes it's like he's not even conscious about it. He just would rather be doing other things. He'd rather eat pizza. Or I feel like there was something else I was going to say. He doesn't care. Oh, or he thinks that I'm like nagging or prying or something. So we're obviously not on the same page if he thinks that I'm like annoying for trying to make him eat healthy or care about himself. So that's not good. So it's really important, I think, to be on the same page as someone or people that are going to influence you. And it's important for you to be a good influence for other people because um, it's like people say, be the change that you want to see in the world. And I think that's great because if I'm saying I want people to care more about their health, then I need to start with myself. So, what else? What else? Okay. So, a lot of people seem to fish for compliments, and that is a clear sign that they don't love themselves. So, that's someone that you don't want to be influenced by. You'd rather influence the person. So, if someone's fishing for compliments, I mean, yeah, sure, you can give it to them, but don't get caught up in that because it's like a slippery slope. I mean, it goes back to when I said you have yourself. You don't People shouldn't need someone to make them feel good about themselves. They should be able to do that for themselves by all the things that I talked about already in this video about forgiving themselves and being patient with themselves as if they're a child still because we all have that child within us, like I said. And most of all, just don't bully yourself. There's no reason for it. It's not going to accomplish anything. It's not going to make you better. It's only going to make you take a step backwards. So instead of bullying yourself, love yourself because it will make a really big difference in your life. So I hope this helps and see you on the next video.